George Segal is the star of this movie, and I know him as the older gentleman who knocks up Kirstie Alley in Look Who's Talking and then abandons her. We see the baby and we hear its thoughts, and the baby's thoughts are voiced by Bruce Willis. This is a real movie. I guess from the trauma of his father leaving, he's wisecracking in his head. Like wisecracks. He's like, now I'm just a baby over here, but why are those two guys kissing? Whatever his thing is, goo goo gaga. Look at the cantaloupes on that pig, or whatever. A woman driving a car. Now I've seen everything, or whatever. He was precocious. We all loved Archie Bunker because of his bigotry, but we excused it because he was older. What if he was a baby? Archie Bunker, bigot baby. Racism is ignorance. A baby don't know no better. Hey, I just did a dookie in my pants. So who am I to judge? But there are a lot of Koreans in this apartment building. I'm just noticing things. Which that's the theme of this movie, is racism. Look Who's Talking was 89, where he abandoned his baby. This is a movie about George Segal abandoning his son, and then his son comes to find him. But instead of a wisecracking baby, his son is black. But it's more diverse, and it deals with race better than a movie that came out 8 years later. Like, so if they remade Look Who's Talking, they would have to get other races in there if for the remake to make it more progressive. So we bring back Kirstie Alley as the white mother, but we got to get more races in there. Chinese baby, voice of Tracy Morgan. I'm a Chinese baby. The movie starts at a rich guy's mansion. The first scene, George Segal is trying to force himself on his wife. And she's like, you can't force me. And he's like, come on, it's in the Bible, you got to do it. And he gets on top of her and he said, just think of it as an old friend coming for a visit. Oh. And then he's on top of her and he says, open the door. Open the door. Open it. Open it. And then the maid comes in. The maid opens the door. So then the maid leaves. Then he jumps on her again.
God damn.
But then their daughter comes in. It's her daughter. He doesn't like her, but she has a daughter from another marriage. But then we cut to his boss is his wife's father. The dad is saying, my daughter called me in tears, telling me you tried to get her in bed this morning.
Oh, my God.
And he's like, well, look, I'm not going to hold that against you. He's like, boys will be boys. So this is when his secretary says, someone named Roger Porter is here to see you. He says, I don't know anyone like that. She says, he said he's the son of Lorraine Porter. And he's like, the love of my life. This was a woman who he knew before, but gave up, right? So then Denzel Washington comes in. So he says, Dad. So it comes out that for 3 years he lived with this black woman named Lorraine, and they were in love. But then he's got this job with his current boss, and his boss told him, you're going to go places in this company. I want to promote you, but you can't just have a black wife. What? He gets him to break up with her. Also, he gets him to marry his daughter. He's literally following him like down the beach, and he's like freaking out. He's wearing his suit. He's like, hey, Dad, when can I come be part of your life, Dad? And he's like, just don't call me Dad. He's like, call me anything but Dad. He's like, what should I call you? He's like, I don't know, Whitey, Honky, Mr. Charlie, whatever black people call white people. That'd make me more comfortable. So then he comes over, he wears a suit, and then they're eating. The prissy daughter, his age, she's like, so have you ever been to jail? And he says, yes, I was once assaulted by a cop. I was at a protest against the Klan. We were singing We Shall Overcome. And he starts to sing it, and everyone at the table's like, ugh, that burns our ears. We don't want to hear the song of love and protest. He tells her, this is my actual son. She just flips out. As soon as he tells this to his wife, the entire community turns on him. Everyone just starts shutting him out. So then he goes to work. They take his car and they cut up his credit cards and he's fired. Oh, then his lawyer is like, I don't want to be your lawyer anymore, but I can recommend a guy that might be more your style. And then it's a black lawyer. He's like, I'm looked into your situation. Everything's in your wife's name. You have no money. So now they're in this shitty motel because he had some cash on him. He sees a father and son playing basketball and he's like, I know what I'll do. He's like, goes over and says, I bet you two guys $5 that you and your son can't beat me and my son. They're like, you're on. And he goes and gets Denzel, and Denzel actually sucks at basketball. So he like throws it. He's like, what the fuck, dude? Turn on your powers or whatever. He's like, go gadget basketball powers. Okay, so he's in the shitty hotel, And he's like, I've got it. My wife, Vivian, there's a safe on the wall in the bedroom. I'll break in and I'll steal all the money from the safe. So then we cut to, it's nighttime. His wife is in bed. He's wearing all black and a ski mask, and she's sleeping. And he goes to the safe. And there's nothing in the safe. But then she wakes up. She goes, don't hurt me. Take whatever you want. But I know what you really want. Go ahead, have your way.
Oh.
She's like, just go for it. She like lays down. She's like, go for it. I know what you want.
What?
So she's like into the idea of this guy who broke in attacking her. In bed. Earlier, he tried to force himself on her. Turns out she has a fantasy about that just with anyone but him. But now she thinks he's somebody else. So then he goes for it.
Okay.
He jumps on her. So it turns out they had the same kink. A lot of random events had to conspire for both of their kinks to perfectly come together. The movie is saying that the world is racist, but our kinks are defense mechanisms where we confront our fears. So if the world wasn't a horrible racist place, then none of us would be able to get off so well. Basically, the anus of society needs to contain the butt plug of injustice in order for any of us to have the greatest pleasure possible. If man's inhumanity towards man had not brought humankind to the brink of extinction, then my girlfriend wouldn't deserve a spanking. In a better world, no one would come. So maybe we shall not overcome. But baby, we're gonna come. The wife and dad come back, and the dad's like, if you stop seeing your son, we will take care of him financially. The wife says, she's like, you know what, I know I've been kind of cold to you, but something happened recently that really awoken me sexually. Then he says, oh yeah, you're hot when it's a burglar. And then she says, I knew it was you. But even if she knew it was him, which I think she's just saying after the fact, he still thought she didn't think it was him. That's a funny thing to try to prove the opposite. To be like, no, I you. Don't act like I didn't you. Are you telling your friends that I didn't? So maybe he had a fantasy and she had a fantasy, but her fantasy also involves his life being ruined. She was like, I just need everything to be taken from you. Right. This is kind of a movie about how we can cure racism by realizing that women are awful. We can cure racism with sexism. The cops come in, they're chasing Denzel for no reason. He gets the cops to chase him. And then Denzel comes to visit him in jail. And Denzel says, I actually don't want anything from you, and I didn't really want you to take care of me. I saw how well you were living. I wanted to ruin your life for what you did to my mother.
Oh, fuck!
Who died loving you.
Oh, no!
Twist. Sorry, you're an asshole. See you later. Now he's back. He's in a suit. He's at the top of the tower with the dad. And he's like, well, everything's back to normal. But then Siegel's like, you know what? You are pretty racist. Like, he finally gets it. He's like, you know what? I'm leaving. So then he leaves. He's in a car with the black lawyer. They're going to try to find Denzel. The black lawyer tells Siegel, because earlier he said he left high school. And the black lawyer goes, yeah, he left high school early because he graduated. He's a genius.
What?
He's in pre-med. He's 17. He's 2 years into college.
Oh, my
This guy's living in Chicago. He's going to the same college you met his mom at. He's like, you know what? I looked at him. I didn't see Lorraine's son. I just saw a black guy. And the black guy's like, well, I mean, is that so bad? So then they pull up on the side of the road. Denzel's there fixing his shitty car. He's like, you know what? I'm coming to Chicago. Let's go live in Chicago together. Now they're both helping Denzel Washington with his dream of becoming a doctor. So this movie is 1981. St. Elsewhere, the medical drama where Denzel Washington plays a doctor, started the next year.
What?
This is the movie prequel to how he became a doctor in the first place. As we all know, the ending of St. Elsewhere, it turns out the entire St. Elsewhere TV show happened inside the mind of an autistic boy staring at a snow globe, which means this all happened in there too, which means it's not George Siegel's fault for forcing himself in a ski mask on his wife. That whole fantasy happened inside the mind of an autistic boy staring at a snow globe. That autistic kid, it turns out, was racist as shit. Ending racism is about seeing someone not as their outside skin color, but as a human being, an individual. That's the same as seeing a man in your bedroom in a ski mask, not as a robber, but as someone who needs sex. The past was doing its best.
That's the thing. theme song.
Leave them alone. Leave them alone. Leave them alone. They were doing their best.